Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Wednesday, January the 13th. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. What to do after you make a mistake with Walmal Part 2. And let's not make the mistake of thinking these videos are not for educational purposes only, because these videos are for educational purposes only, and your results may differ from mine and from Walmal's. Walmal, how's your day going?
It's doing better now than it did earlier. So that's it was a rough morning for me, but
Did you make any mistakes today?
I made two mistakes today. I made two mistakes, and I had the market go against me a couple of times, but two mistakes that were my fault. And what did I do? I just kept on going because that's all you can do.
Yep, that's pretty much all you can do. So what mistakes did you make?
What happened was one time I had a target in place that I wanted to go and get out at. It hit my target. I got greedy and went against me and wound up taking a loss on it. The other time, what happened was I got into a trade that the trigger really didn't happen. I jumped early and the market turned around and wound up taking a loss on that. So then I had two big losses that I had to go and come back from. So it happens. That's who we are. We're human. We're people, and we're going to make mistakes. And I feel like I'm a broken record sometimes, but that's why we have a trading plan. Because our trading plan also needs to go and take into account that we're going to make mistakes.
Yeah, because it's like I was just saying right before we start the video, I'm getting killed today, but I really haven't made any mistakes. I've been taking the signals, but the market's just saying, not today.
Yeah, and that's going to happen sometimes, and that's unfortunately, but that's sometimes what happens, and that's also part of this whole scheme of trading plan as well. Is your trading plan taking that into account? Do you have enough cushion in there based on what you're risking on every trade, what you're willing to lose every day, and it just you have to have those things in place, and it's funny. Yeah, it'd be great that I can go in there and trade, 500 lots on every trade. That'd be great on the winners, but what about the losers? They wipe you out in the first trade,
Yeah, I know.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You got to go and just make sure that you got those things in place. So to answer your question really succinctly, what do you do when you've made mistakes? What you do is you go back and you look and you sit down and you figure out what were my mistakes, how did I make the mistakes, and make sure that you go and do something, make some type of change that goes and stops you from making that mistake again. And certainly the biggest thing that you got to go and make sure is that your mistakes don't become habit, and then what's really scary, I think, about trading is that you can go and make a mistake and actually come up with money in your pocket. What does that do? That kind of reinforces a mistake. And now you got a problem because now you've done something wrong, you didn't follow your plan, and you got rewarded for it. And what is that going to do to your psychology and your mind? You're going to, I got away with it the last time. Maybe I can get away with it again. And next thing you know, this time you get clobbered. Well, then now you're sitting there confused and all, messed up. It's like, how did that happen? Well, you dummy, you went and violated your rules. You didn't follow your trading plan. That's how it happened. You got lucky over there. And that's the thing, with trading, there's an element of luck to it. Yes, there's skill, but there's also luck. It's a combination of both. The skill is figuring out where those entries are going to be. The skill is actually going and placing your trades. The skill is knowing when to get out of your trades. But the reality is, when you place that button, you go and hit a buy, on your trading platform, you don't know if it's going to go up. It may just as easily go down. It's the type of thing, you may have every signal. I don't care, what indicators you use. I don't care what method you use. everything could be the entire world pointing at, your particular instrument is going to go up, and it's going to go up and go to the moon, and you get into your trade, and the next thing you know, it just plummets all the way down to earth. So, you just got to go and deal with it.
Exactly.
No, and it can be, very, very disheartening. In fact, I think I got on the phone with you after I had taken those losses this morning, and when I had taken those losses this morning, I got to the point where it was just, I think the first thing I said to you is, you said to me, how's your trading doing today? And I said, well, it's been a pretty bad morning. And I said to you that it was pretty devastating. I felt pretty defeated, but what do you do?
Yeah.
Okay, and I looked at my trading plan real quick and said, well, I haven't violated anything in my trading plan, so I'm still good to go. I can still trade here.
Yeah, because it was funny because you had told me last night that chances are you wouldn't be trading, and I was trading this morning, and I had 7 trades, and I was up 7 points. Not 7 pips, 7 points. So I texted Walmal, said 7 trades, 0.7 pips, up. It's like, this is like just unbelievable. I mean, 7 trades, and I didn't even have a whole pip. I mean, talk about, the market's just beating me up today. That was just like too funny. I did get some good trades in, but then, I think I got triggered out of my stop about 5 or 6 times. So I got some pips to make up.
Yeah, and the thing is, one of the mistakes was actually, here's a third mistake that I made that I'm just thinking about right now. I've been trading, obviously, the pound dollar, because that's what I don't trade anything else but the pound dollar. And when I was trading this morning, it got itself into a tight range. And it just kept on trading across that tight range of that range was probably about 10, 12 pips wide, and that was it. And I kept on saying, you know what, I'm going to go and take this. When it breaks that range, I'm going to go and get it. And guess what I kept on doing? I kept on going and breaking, getting stopped out because it would run the other way. And unfortunately, a couple of times I really made the big mistake of not just letting it go and go against me, but I let it go all the way to my full stop, as opposed to saying, hey, it's not going to make it this time, take a 3 pip or a 5 pip loss, come back and fight again. It's a whole lot easier to come back from 3 pips or 5 pips or 7 pips than it is to come back from 10 pips. And I did that a couple of times. Then I finally realized, hey, look what this thing's been doing for the last 2 hours. Not just the hour that I was trading, but the last 2 hours. It's just been ranging back and forth. Hey, maybe we go and change up what I can do. I've got a method of entry to go and to deal with this. And if I just would have seen that, 15 minutes earlier, I could have saved myself a bunch of grief, bunch of time, would have made my pips for the day, would have been a happy camper. But, and I guess reading the charts and looking at the charts and seeing how price is moving, if you're not doing that, if you're just going and saying, let's say you're doing the Walmal method, like right now we're sitting at, with a Walmal lines at 40 and at 30, okay? If you're just going to say, I'm going to go short at 30 and I'm going to go long at 40, okay, and you don't look to the left and see what it's been doing over the last whatever, that's a huge, huge mistake. It's like, I put out there, for all our trading friends out there to go and look and see what my rules are. But and I said, and then one of the rules I have, and I don't remember which number it was, but one of the ones that's there, it says, look to the left. And unfortunately, we sometimes, especially if we go on to lower time frames, we get so myopic view or so tunnel visioned. What happens is we start just seeing the last 3 or 4 or 5 minute candles in front of us, and the last 3 or 4 1 minute candles in front of us, and the next thing we don't realize, hey, we're about to run into a wall, dummy. You know what, this is probably not a wise thing. Instead of going in, let's say if you're going to go long at 40, you know what, let's go long at 43 or 44 this hour instead, and just move my lines over a little bit, just because I know we haven't been able to crush this particular place over there, and the thing is that's a huge mistake. So what do you do when you're making mistakes? One of the things you keep on going forward. Second thing you do is the mistakes that you're making, is it truly a mistake based on your method, or is it not really even a mistake, but just the current market conditions and what the market's doing? And if it's what the market's doing right now, well, that means you got to either do one or two things. Either stand aside until proper market conditions come back, okay, or go and modify what you're doing. Don't break your trading plan, but modify what you're doing. And when I say modify what you're doing, what that means is going into your trading plan at some point in time, doing the research, figuring it out, and actually putting in, what is my plan B? If I see this happening on the charts, what's plan B? Or do we just only have plan A? If we only have plan A, then that means, well, I don't have that condition being met right now. Step aside.
Yeah, because I was just pointing out some things to the traders. We're below the holo line here by 5 pips, and chances are, with only a few, about 7 minutes left in this hour, chances are we just might get a new holo. And we're in the rat zone because we're only 10 pips off of the daily low. So, and you can see here, we've had the last 3 hours have been red candles. So it's down this hour. We're only at 21 pips of range. So things are just compressing. And it's like I was hoping that price would rocket out of the 40 once again like it did here. So you see here, price rocketed up to the 60, and I was trying to get that move again. Well, price went up to here, and then you see it just came right back down. It was like no rocket this time. So
yeah, and that's part of trading too, And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, and you just have to go with it, And again, that's why it's so important, I know I'm a broken record, but that's why your trading plan is so stinking important.
Yeah.
Because you got to go figure this out figure this out before you actually start dumping money.
Yep.
Figure this out.
Yeah. So for the week, as you can see, boys and girls and non-binary traders, we filled all the gaps. You can see here we of the range here for the month, the opening range. You see we busted through it both ways. Here's the for the week. It got the opening range for the week was broken through, and actually the month and year are the same because this is January. We're 18 pips below the yearly open at the moment. Inside bar trade, we had one from 3 days ago. There it is. Let's see, range, we've only got 3 pairs over 100 today, and the pound right now is at 79, which isn't that much. We're 19 pips away from the pivot point. We did take out yesterday's pivot. You can see green rats, you're in the zone here. Looking at the 1 minute, we can move it up to 15. Shout out to Brian. I was on the phone with him earlier today. He was saying he likes to use the 15, and he's been posting in a Facebook group his success using the rat zone. Once again, we missed the pivot here, but we did hit the weekly pivot, the 135.98. I believe I called that out earlier. You can see we took out yesterday we took out this missed pivot, and today we haven't quite hit the pivot. Okay, what else do we have here? Wick zone in and out. And back to one of our trading screens here. And you can see here, it's just struggling right around the 30. I mean, if you get up a pip or two, just take it, be happy, and then maybe you'll get another trade. This is not a day to be worrying about leaving pips on the table, that's for sure. And fellow traders, as usual, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is up. So hopefully, you'll be able, if you make a mistake, you know what to do after you make the mistake. And just go back to your trading plan and remember not to make that mistake again, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And this is TheRumpledOne, over and out.